I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
I think everyone should get a few items per session. I think you should get one free item. If you buy 10 items, you get one free. It's my fault. You get come on. Can I get one tube of toothpaste for free? I bought all this other shampoo, That's what the self-checkout is. It's just an opportunity to steal. I was stealing pretty badly, then I stopped because I heard a rumor like that, and I was like, all right, I don't want to get.
Yeah, I wonder which undercover marketer has been spreading that one.
I have a couple buddies that are kleptomaniacs.
Yeah. Do they also hop turnstiles?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't know anyone that does that.
Every once in a while, I'll do it. When there isn't the booth. You know when there's the booth with the guy in it who's looking at his phone, doesn't do anything?
Yes.
When there's that, I don't do it. But if it's late at night and I'm a little pissed off and there's no one around, I'll do one hop. But it's like once a month, just to get the...
But how can you do that with all the leg?
It's actually quite easy because I don't actually have to hop. I just step over, and I don't even...
Because you're a tall guy.
I just... Right
Guys,
over.
Welcome to Oops Podcast here. We're in the midst of a discussion about stealing.
Yeah.
Its merits, when it's appropriate, when it is not. Happy to give you guys a little pre-roll there. And so here we are, mid-conversation. We have the very funny Chris Barnes in the house. What up? Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. Comedian and creator extraordinaire.
Yeah.
I am joined by, as always, young, hilarious, and jacked Ryan Lynch. I am Giulio Gallerati, and here we are. So back into the discussion. So we're talking about basically when it's appropriate to steal, when it's not appropriate to steal. I'm not saying that it is at any time, but we're in the midst of this discussion, and we are going to decide as a group whether or not it is appropriate. We'll start with what we were just talking about, which is basically hopping the turnstile when it comes to public transportation. This might be a specifically kind of New York-centric thing, but if you guys are curious, there are some interesting specs that go along here. So the booth is the first thing to take in consideration.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to say I'm pro hopping the turnstile because I'm being recorded. But I mean, every once in a while, you got to get some back.
Agreed.
And I think in certain situations, maybe a long day and you don't want to cough up. What is it? 325 now? What is it for the
290?
290?
You have, damn, you've been hopping a lot. You don't even know how much
I don't
it
even
costs.
know. I assumed it was $10. But in certain situations, I'm not a big hopper. It's not even a hop for me. It's a step over.
It's a large
It's a
step.
hip.
I'm a
It's
tall
just a
man.
hip.
Yeah, it's a hip. Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4"?
Yeah. And then when I wear my Air Max 90s, 6'5".
How do you feel about your height?
I think I'm right at the limit of like how tall you can be without it starting to become like a little bit of a freak show.
So it's funny you say that because I have a friend who's 6'4" and he's self-conscious about it.
Really?
And I'm like, what world are we living in where a guy who's tall is self-conscious about being tall? He's like, dude, is it too tall?
Because
like, no.
I see. Okay, but here's the thing. When I see, like last night I saw a guy who was taller than me. Proportionally, he looked odd. His abdomen was short. His legs were long. His jean jacket was like a crop top for him. It looked weird, and I was like, thank God I'm not that tall.
So it becomes about proportions at that height.
He just looks like nothing fits him. He looks like he doesn't belong. You know that 1980s movie Big?
Yes.
With Tom Hanks, when he first becomes a man, he puts on all of his like little boy clothes. It just is like, he just looks like he grew overnight.
Right.
So that I'm at the limit of like, I think any taller, maybe I could be 6'5" and that's okay. But once you get 6'6", you better be an athlete.
Yes.
Because you just look weird in normal situations.
Yes, right.
Going to work wearing a suit where the sleeves are too short.
Right,
you know?
right.
You know how in Microsoft Paint back in the day, like when you were they had the little corners that you could like make things taller and wider and you could do all the different angles. Like some people, if they're not proportionate, it'll be as if you were to lift the center dot up and then they don't look like a human, or you make it thinner on the right side. But the goal is to be that diagonal part where it proportionally increases the size on all aspects.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I'm right there.
Okay.
I don't know. I think my legs are pretty long, but I think I have long arms too. So I'm like right there. I'm only going to probably get shorter though. So that's good. I mean, as I get older.
Do you hunch?
I hunch a bit. I got to work on that. I've been doing a lot more stretches though.
That's good.
Getting into. I've been doing cat cow.
You don't seem like a huncher to me, though. I don't think
when
of you
I
as a
sit
huncher.
down, I'll just spend hours like this on my phone, and then I'll like be like, I've been sitting like this and I'll have to like sit up, I try to sit up. It's tough. How tall are you?
6.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm not just.
You're not
I'm
just-
not
you're not-
5'11". I'm actually 6.
There's a lot of those people.
I'm 6 and a couple sprinkles.
There's not a lot of people that are 5'11". You'll notice that.
Yeah.
Or say that they are.
I'm like 6. I'm like leaning. I'm like closer to 6'1" than 6.
Yeah.
But I'm about 6.
But that's a good height.
Yeah, I'm happy with
6
it.
is a great height. Perfect. How tall are you? Are you tall?
I'm 6.
You're both. Wow.
But I feel like I'm
sixes.
shorter than Julia. But I weighed my.
No, you're
I
I think you're a
measured.
little-
I measured my height recently on one of the walls, and it was 6.
At where? At a
At a
pediatrician's office?
at a little kid's house.
Okay.
But I was hanging with the parents
Is that to scale?
at our friend's house that have
likely
kids.
story.
I've said that in reverse.
Yeah.
But you said you were 6.
But it was
on the
6.
thing?
It was 6
Oh.
again.
Nice.
But I get self-conscious when I see you because I know that you say you're 6. I think you might be 6'1".
I think you're 6'1" and I'm 6. I think you're taller than me.
I don't know.
Am I taller than you?
I don't want to. Let's not do it.
Ladies.
We don't have to do it.
You're both tall. Okay.
I don't give a dude. I don't care. I'm fine.
I'm taller. Yeah, I know. I'm happy with my height. Very happy with it. I like a few things about myself. I like that I'm tall. I like that I have blonde hair, and like that. I feel like that's kind of unique. I mean, you have blonde hair too, and
Yeah.
blue eyes. I mean, we look quite a lot. I feel like we look
You
similar.
look similar.
Yeah.
You do.
Maybe we shouldn't have sat next to each other, but
No,
that's
no,
okay.
It's a little. It's a nice Aryan overload.
Yeah, it's an
for
Aryan
the-
couch
Aryan
over here.
overload.
Yeah, Aryan overload.
The perfection couch.
Yeah,
Do you have blue eyes?
I do have blue
Sure
eyes.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Sure does. How do you get your hair to stay like that?
Dude. It's a process.
I like it.
I'm actually-
It's almost part of your brand. At
Yeah,
this
it is
point.
part of it. I'm actually getting my hair cut today because I'm getting new headshots. No big deal. But yeah, it's a process. I wake up, I shower, I use a like a thickener shampoo because I want to get volume, and then when my hair is wet, I spray it with sea salt spray
Oh, nice.
to add another layer of thickness, and
Have some of
then
that.
I have to like comb it and then dry it in sections. You know,
Interesting.
I have to dry the sides with a blow dryer. Okay,
Interesting.
and then I put in something called like wax, and the wax kind of keeps it together. So it's a process, you know. But this is like I've struggled with my hair a little bit because I'm like losing my hair. I started losing my hair when I was 18, so I'm like
Where?
pumping chemicals.
Where's the?
I started like thinning on the top, you know, which is good, better than like on the crown I mean, I have kind of high peaks, but I started losing my hair when I was like 18, and I had to get on all like the medications.
Are you still on it?
Yeah, I'm on the Propecia, and on Rogaine. This is all before Hims, because you're familiar with Hims,
I am.
right? Hims is great. Like they're just like, yeah, hair loss. This is before that. I had to like get like my pills from like a weird sketchy website from China.
Oh damn.
So like every month I get a dusty package from Beijing
Really?
with just like a box full of different size pills.
Jesus.
They just had to assume I don't know what I've been taking, but
Yeah, I mean, at least they've cleared customs.
they cleared customs, and I've just been like doing that like kind of secretly. But now like that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm on all that stuff. You know?
Any side effects?
No, I don't have. Everyone they asked that about like the the pee-pee stuff. No issues. Thank
good.
God.
That's good.
Some people have that, but
Yeah, I've heard.
not me.
It's good, bro.
So
Good, rocking
Yeah.
and rolling.
rocking and rolling.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I always think it's funny running into Chris because I know without a doubt you are going to diminish whatever good thing that you're doing when I see you. How's it going, dude?
That fucking sucks.
My challenge to you is to try being a glass half full guy for
I
a
know.
week and see
It's
how
tough.
it goes.
I mean, I think it's a good mentality to be a little bit like, that things aren't as good as they could be, you know?
Yeah.
Because it, keeps you driving.
Yeah.
Keeps you going.
I struggle with this too, and my fiance will call me out on it when I'm doing it, and
Yeah.
which I find helpful. Sometimes it's annoying, and like I'm not in the mood to hear it, but other times I'm like, okay, she's right, and I'm like, because there are people out there, at least in our field, that do the opposite,
Yeah.
and it seems to like help them. They're like constantly like over exaggerating everything they're doing.
I think that is a real thing. I think that we respond to other people's stuff better. Like if you go out there and you're really confident, you're like, I'm really good. I got this. My stuff's doing this. It's doing well. I got numbers, whatever. We start to believe other people's narratives a bit.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
And there's a world where you can do it without carrying
overdoing
on.
it.
Yeah,
too.
you can sort of like, concisely be confident and present confidently. I think
someone once told me recently, they were like, you got to be the person that people think you are, which I think is great advice because like you should be like, yeah, I'm doing something. Believe in yourself a bit. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you.
Okay, what about this?
Sure.
Maybe you are the person that people think you are.
Yeah. That could be scary though.
Come on,
I don't know what
come
people
on.
think about
No,
me.
that's true.
so.
But I think in the context of like, people are like, oh, here's this guy. He's doing all these videos. He's crushing it. He's crushing it. And then they meet you and you're like,
yeah, that's funny. I'm like, fucking
whatever.
The algorithm's screwing me again. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think we all hold ourselves to like different standards, and like I just try not to get complacent. Also, my girlfriend's a comedian as well, and she's really like can sometimes be down on herself, so I have to kind of like bring her up. So we kind of like trade places every now. Like when I'm down, she brings me up, and when she's down, I bring her up. So
I've seen both of these in action in real life.
Oh yeah,
I can recall moments where one of you was like, and the other one was like, no.
I was like, no, you're great. Yeah.
No, I mean, Chris just, or the other way around.
Yeah,
I've seen it in real time.
But that's okay. I think it's good not to like have too big of a head, and also like don't be too hard. There's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the middle. You got to be like, things are good, but they're not great. You're not as good as you think you are, but you're not as bad as you think you are.
Right.
You know?
Right. But I also like, is there a world where you can be pleased with yourself and not complacent? I think so. I think that is like
I think so.
A goal state.
Yeah. I think it just comes with it all comes from comparing ourselves to others.
Mm-hmm.
Like I only feel bad because other people I think are doing better, and that makes me feel not good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also like silly and kind of like screwed up a little bit.
You can never escape that.
Just be like, I want others to fail so I can succeed. You know,
you can never escape it.
In any aspect of life too, by the way. It's outside of comedy. I'm sure in like 9-to-5 jobs, there's like other people get promotions. You're like, I should have gotten that.
Definitely. And if you're on top for too long, you get bored anyway.
That's right.
No one is anyway. So
that's why Taylor Swift has 8 jets and just always needs to have the #1 album every year.
Exactly. Lynch, what do you think? What's your take?
Yeah, what
on
do you
this?
think?
I just think if everybody's telling you to not compare yourself to others, even though you do, there's truth to that. So at the end of the day, you're just like, I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. It's one of those things where you're like, when you're 80, you're going to be like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
When I'm 80,
totally.
When I'm 80,
You're
I'm going to
80.
be like, I should have posted more TikToks. Damn.
Fuck.
I should have done more part 2s.
Yeah, I didn't
to
realize.
Successful video. I should have responded to more comments. That's what I'm going to say when I'm 80.
More stitches.
On my deathbed, I'm going to be like, make sure you engage with your audience. It's going to be me.
Let's hope not, dude. Let's hope not. But no, I mean, there is and I guess, you can compare yourself to others in any situation. I think that's why they say that social media is making people unhappy in general.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But look, there's certain types of comparison that's impossible not to do.
Yeah.
And then others where it's like, okay, like you're being hard on yourself. And it's good to just have the awareness that you're like, okay, this is a natural feeling.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need to let it fucking ruin my day and my life.
It's like a batting average.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hitting
right.
250, 300, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Today.
Exactly.
Today. Not in the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs.
But today.
Today.
Yeah.
Unless it's with runners on, like Ohtani.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sounds
Right.
Statistics don't always tell the full story.
This episode of Oops the Podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Spooky season's upon us, Halloween. But are there things in your life that actually scare you, that are not ghosts and ghouls and goblins? You know what I mean? I don't know. Like for me, I worry about the future a lot. I think about like, how am I going to balance my dynamic lifestyle with being a good dad and being around for my kids and being able to like help them with the things that are important to them and commit time to that every single day while I'm traveling all over the world, making videos, and while I'm traveling around doing stand-up. Like, am I going to be able to do it all? And I always land on, I'm just going to figure it out. But I think that like therapy is super helpful for all this kind of stuff. Whether it's just to get it off your chest and help you sort of realize the answer to your own question by saying it out loud, or for people who are looking to give you some more specific insight, BetterHelp's great because there are tons of different therapists, and it's designed in a way to kind of help you match yourself up with the right person for your needs, what their sort of expertises and specialties are. And, you know, there are some therapists that are way more sort of into giving specific suggestions as opposed to ones who kind of help you figure it out on your own type of thing. Either way, it's very easy to kind of switch therapists in BetterHelp. I'm not encouraging you to be constantly switching therapists, but if you feel like yours isn't a good match, it's not difficult to change. It's all right there for you. And I'm saying that because in the past, when I've gone to therapy that just required me going into the office and being assigned a therapist, I got assigned that person. That's who was around, and my insurance was taken at this place, and therefore this is now who I'm going with, and there's nothing I can do about it. And like changing just felt too difficult, and I'll end up with the wrong therapist for like 2 years, which is ridiculous. So that problem will never happen for you with BetterHelp. You fill out a questionnaire that helps you kind of narrow what you might want, and it also helps BetterHelp narrow down specific candidates that might be good for you. If you don't like the ones they suggest, there's a bunch of others you can pick from. You will not have that problem. It's a great, evolved, modern way to approach therapy. Highly recommend therapy in general, but especially from BetterHelp.
So overcome your fears with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/oops to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/oops.
I gotta ask you guys a question. So I got a parking ticket in
Today?
Ohio. No,
Oh, in Ohio?
like a week ago or so. And I paid the toll or whatever. I paid the parking meter remotely 1 minute before I got the ticket. So it was paid. So what must have happened is the person checking must have seen that I had not paid, began the process of giving me a ticket.
Yep.
During the process of getting the ticket, I paid. And then if you look at the sort of timestamps, I have at 7:59 p.m. saying that I paid. 8:01 p.m. I have a ticket. It's for $30. Is it worth it to fight it?
Okay. This is a topic that I love because I get parking tickets all the time and I hate the whole system. Now, the whole app thing that they do, at least in New York City, I don't know about Ohio, but is complete BS. It doesn't work. The meter people don't know when people have already paid online. They just the whole interface, whatever, is just not well done. And I'm sure that's kind of what happened with you, where they're on their like chunky like Texas Instruments calculator thing. You know, like it's not even an iPad.
Yeah.
Can we not give these people iPads? They have to have a chunky like thing that has the receipt printout and it like straps to the side of them, and they're like it's like 1980s technology.
It's bad.
And then like, you know, they don't know that you pay a ticket. I mean, you could fight it. $30 is that's a steal for
Agreed.
a parking ticket.
Agreed.
Like that's
Nominal.
it's nothing. I got a $115 ticket the other day.
Parking
I don't
ticket?
know where these numbers come from. I actually, when I was walking to do this podcast, I see people get parking tickets. I like to look what the issue is. Like, what did they get? There was a guy on your block that got 2 tickets this morning. One, because he didn't move his car for street cleaning, which is fine. We all have done that. You got caught slipping. Okay. He got another ticket because he had a bike rack on the back of his car, and he got a obstruction view ticket. Apparently, it's illegal to leave a bike rack on a car when it's parked. So I didn't even know that was a ticket. That would make me
what
blood
view
red
is
mad.
obstructed?
It obstructs the view of a car that no one's driving.
Yeah, it's hanging on. It's like a sedan. He had the bike rack, and I guess obstructed his view.
Right.
I don't even understand what kind of ticket that is,
Yeah.
but that's a new one. There's so many. Listen,
I get it while driving, but parked is weird. But I guess maybe they caught him while he was parked.
there's so like you could just tell like parking tickets are not meant to like make the streets cleaner or whatever. It's just to make the city more money. Yes. The reason I know this is because with fire hydrants, do you ever get a fire hydrant ticket?
I have not, but
Okay. Do you know how far you have
10
to park?
feet?
So that's the thing, dude. Nobody knows.
yes.
Is
true.
it 10? Is it 15?
Right.
Is it
Do
5
do
feet?
you have a tape measure?
Yeah. Also, if they wanted people not to park near the hydrants, wouldn't they like mark the curb with a red line
Right,
to identify
right.
where is the no parking zone?
Right.
They want people
In most
to park.
cities, they do it.
They
but
do
yeah,
not in New York.
Not in New York.
And then also the hydrant that we're not supposed to park in front of looks like a relic recovered from the Titanic. They don't even look like they work, these fire hydrants. They look like if you open them up, rats would shoot out. I mean, you
This
know.
might be true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So for you, dude, Ohio, listen, that state might need some help. Your $30 goes a long way. So maybe pay it. That does suck, you know? I don't know if worth fighting though. Unfortunately, what do you think?
I like to fight. $30 is
fight
right
too,
on the line.
Yeah,
With the fire hydrant thing,
yeah.
I think there's too many.
There are too many.
There's way too many.
There's too many.
And it's such a tease when you're trying to park the car and you find a spot. It's a fire
so
hydrant.
annoying.
Then you go down like 5, 7 more feet. You find a spot, another fire hydrant.
Yeah.
It's suspiciously inconvenient.
You're driving down the road and like streets like this where it's kind of lined with cars, and you see that little gap.
Yeah.
It's like a mirage, dude.
Yeah.
You get up there and it's like fuck a hydrant.
I know.
I think that they need to make. Okay, so why do we have fire hydrants? Obviously, to put out fires, and you don't park in front of them because if you do, they'll like. Firefighters are such assholes. They're like, we're going to put the hose through the car instead of, I don't know, under it or maybe
Around
over it.
Yes.
It's a hose. It's flexible. They should just make them taller. Why are they like a foot off the ground? Make them taller so we can just park and it will go over the car.
This is clever.
Like this.
Barns
It's
from
an
air.
extra, it's a little bit more of a pipe. Who cares?
Right.
But wait a minute. So the hose, is the hose connected to the hydrant?
Yes.
You
So
connect
then
it.
why can't they just go
Around
in
it?
front and not, why does the car even need to be involved?
Exactly.
I
Just
think the
connect it.
idea is that during an emergency, that extra 10, 15 seconds that it will take for them to go around it will affect the process.
I don't know if you guys seen
the
these
thought.
videos online, but when there is a car parked in front of a hydrant and there is a fire or they need the water, the firefighters get a lot of joy out of doing this. They take the axe off the fire truck and they smash the windows of the car to put the hose through the car, which is completely unnecessary. And they're just doing it to fuck up someone's car.
They love it.
And they love doing it.
Okay, but what if it's because of this? And I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying for the sake of the discussion, maybe the hose itself isn't super flexible. And if you were to bend it, because the car and the fire hydrant are so close to each other, now I have to figure out how to get this giant hose bent to connect it. And then it has to go, and then it fucks up the water flow. And now you don't get as much water. I don't know.
I feel ya.
But
Once
yeah.
again, going back,
Higher.
make the hydrants taller. Make them taller. Make them 5 feet off the ground.
Make them adjustable. Like maybe
Make
you
'em
could crank it
adjustable.
up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the fire department abuses the power a little bit.
They do. They got to.
I'm a little anti-fire department.
I'm anti-fire hydrant.
Hot take.
I'm trying to film a TikTok,
Yeah.
trying to do like a 61 second one take clip.
You got to get that monetization.
You want to be a part of the creator fund.
Yeah.
And on the 50th second of your 30th take, your best take yet.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, they do. Another issue you just brought up, they got to lower the volume of pretty much every emergency vehicle in New York City.
Agreed.
We get it. Okay? We get you have the lights. You don't need to be at a decibel that you can hear your ears develop tinnitus.
Right. The Apple Watch
like-
is notifying you that there's dangerous.
Yeah, when
loud
your
decibel
Apple's like,
levels.
hey, are you in the middle of a nuclear explosion? Because this is very loud. Like, it's like, we see you. We'll move.
So bad, dude.
And it's also, by the way, 9 times out of 10, it's like someone's like smoke detectors going off. There's no emergency.
Right.
You know?
A cat in a tree.
A cat, yeah. That's a real 1950s problem right there.
I'll give another example. 2 days ago, I was walking home from Whole Foods, and 4 blocks were completely closed off. There were probably 6 or 7 fire trucks, small little fire on the rooftop, probably from a grill. I think it was a grill fire that I read later. There were at least 30, 40
How'd you figure
firefighters
it
walking
out?
around.
How'd you figure out what
The
happened?
Citizens app.
I had to take that off my phone. It was too much.
I keep getting alerts. You have to pay for it now. I keep getting alerts like, hey, there's a predator that moved 0.3 miles away from your apartment. There's a
Hilarious.
pedophile. It's like living underneath your building. Then you try to find any info, and it's
No,
like
sorry.
$80 a week.
That's
$80
great.
a week.
That's
He's
great how
there.
they're gatekeeping
Want
pedophiles.
to see
you
a
know?
pic of him?
Yeah.
$80 a
They
week.
blur it out. It's such
It's
a
like-
tease.
It's like pedophile approaching. $8 a month.
He's in your apartment.
He's in your
You
apartment.
can see what he looks like.
We'll tell you
or
which room
could
he
turn
is for
around.
$80 a month. You had to take it off my my phone because it was getting a little like, I don't need to know all the crimes that are happening around me. Your life's a lot better when you don't know. It's like I'd be on my phone and be like, Grandma stabbed, and you're like, Jesus, okay,
I know.
With the
You
knife
know?
emoji.
with the knife emoji too. But then also it's like they let people, you can like upload on there, right? And you could just like tell that like people are
I know.
like wrong.
What paranoid losers.
Yeah. Like there was like in the summer there were fireworks going off and someone was like, terrorist attack in Astoria Park. And you're like, no, it isn't. Okay.
Yeah, right.
You
It's
know,
a little too free
It's a
range.
quinceanera.
Yeah, we got to have
Pipe
verified
down.
posters.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, yeah, like sometimes, so I have a Ring Cam, and
Mm-hmm.
it basically notifies you when somebody's at your door, but it also notifies you if things have happened in the neighborhood. And it'll be funny, like I'll be out of town and I'll get a notification and I'm like, oh fuck, is somebody at my door at 11:30 p.m.? And then I check it, it's like, oh, thank God a grandmother was just murdered.
Oh, God, no one stole my Amazon packages. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude, it's fucked.
it's tough.
Okay, read the ticket. I think so. The idea that you can just make me pay and not have to be accountable bothers me.
Yeah.
And I posted about this, and I got a couple replies that were like, "This is how we let governments take advantage." You know, it's small enough of an infraction that you don't say anything, and then it slowly builds up over time. Fight it, and I'm like, "You're fucking right."
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna fight it, even
Okay.
though it's
I
going to be a
respect
waste
that.
of my time, and I will actually lose money by fighting it potentially with the amount of time and effort and thought
Yeah.
I put into it. I'm
Hashtag
still-
opportunity cost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hashtag opportunity
Not if you turn
cost.
it into content.
I'm still going to fight it. Yeah. Well,
Turn it into content.
we needed to start performing better if
Yeah.
it were to have been worth it.
You'll sell some tickets in Ohio.
Exactly. That's
You
what
know?
we need.
People
That's
will be
what we
like,
need.
yeah, I got a ticket too.
Yeah.
Do
That's-
5 minutes on that at your next show there.
I know. Seriously. Okay. So Chris does a lot of online videos. You do stand up also.
I do.
I've heard you talk about sort of like the challenge of combining the two worlds.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is too like inside baseball of a topic, but it is. I do think it's interesting because we are in an era when it
Yeah.
comes to like posting shit where once you have something that you post that works, the algorithm only wants you to post that.
Wants you to do that.
So it can be hard to like do other stuff because you are now apparently known for this. So
Yeah.
we'll reward you if you post like this, but if you post like that, we won't. So is that like a challenging thing?
It is. It's gotten easier as time has gone on, but I felt like I've been pigeonholed like 4 or 5 times since I started posting online where I would make a video that would really pop off. And then maybe I'm like, all right, I'll do a part 2, maybe a part 3. And then I'll be like, all right, I'm kind of tired of that. Let me go do this new thing. And I'll go do that new thing. And people are like, where is, the pickleball stuff? They're like,
right.
the comments are like, we want more of that thing, And I think like as a creator, I mean, personally, I get bored with one thing. I don't want to be one guy. I don't want to do one character. There are people that are doing great doing one thing.
Yeah.
And they make more money than me and they have more followers than me. But it just doesn't creatively, like, it doesn't fulfill me. I like being able to do different types of videos. And I feel like I've gotten to the point now where people kind of expect different types of videos from me. And that's where I want to be because I don't want to be like that, the one character,
Well, and it's hard to be the like one. It's funny. You'll see people do really well at one thing and then eventually they just can't do it anymore for whatever reason. And they're like, you know
Yeah.
what? Now I'm going to do this. And like a lot of the time you do see those people kind of like fall off.
They fall off a little bit, but I
which is hard.
respect that though, because it's like, you're right. The algorithms want that. Like when you post a video, like forget hashtags or captions or whatever, they scan those videos and they know exactly what they're about, So when you do a video that's just like not what you typically do, you're fighting against an algorithm that just doesn't want to show this stuff. But you just have to just kind of like bear down and, just be consistent and try new things and like all the people I talk to that want to post online, it seems that their biggest fear is like failing because when you fail publicly, unfortunately,
Right.
in our, business.
And your friends who like are just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Like,
you're like,
think
oh,
about
that's funny. You ever see someone post a video like, oh, that wasn't it,
Right.
and it's it's something we have to get over though, because like, you do stand up, like we bomb in front of our peers sometimes, or we don't have a great set. It's the same thing. It's like, the good news is though, when you bomb online, hardly anyone sees it. Maybe
That's
a few
true.
friends, but like for the most part, the world just didn't see you. And that's a good thing.
Agreed.
know?
Agreed. You'll get rewarded for your good ones and the bad ones. Nobody sees
No one
them.
will see it.
And were they bad? Who knows? But it doesn't matter.
I think some of my favorite videos bombed their ass off online. So, I mean, just kind of like, I think you have to like stay true to like what you think is funny. As soon as you start making stuff for like the algorithm or what you think like will do well and like trendy or whatever, that's when the humor and the art and the creativity start to die. And you're just kind of like playing the hits and it's, it just isn't good, you know? It's just crappy. And regular people will think it's good, but like, you know, people like us that are in the comedy world, we'll be like, this just isn't, it gives you like a ugh feeling, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's true.
Yeah, just like sacrificing your authenticity
yeah.
Yeah.
for the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there's a world where you can do both, but agreed. It's nice to, I can't do it. I certainly like just have to do what I want to do. And maybe
people
to
just,
a fault.
you have to do what like works for you too. Like some people just can't do certain things, and that's okay. Like I personally wish I was more of a personality online. You know, I wish I like you had a whole series about going after Chipotle. I love that. That was great. Like I thought that was a great, like you were funny in those videos, and it was also like something that people really latched on to. Which, by the way, any update with that? Are you still at war with Chipotle?
Thanks. No, it's kind of over. They're
over.
They're training the staff.
That's right.
We won.
Yeah.
And I haven't been as often since, but I mean the precedent is still the same.
Yeah.
You're not happy, walk out.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it is one of those things too where I like start to pivot after I've gained the biggest chunk of following
From that.
on social, on TikTok and Instagram from that. And so whenever I try to go back to doing some silly stuff, it's like dance monkey dance.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
tough.
Inevitably.
but you've been through that
I've been
3 or 4 times, you
so
said?
many times.
So this
Like-
is the first time I'm trying to pivot, and it's just like pushing and pushing and pushing,
Yeah.
and then we'll make it through on the other side.
The first time I ever dealt with that was I had like a series where I was parroting influencers. Like they would go to like these like, oh my God, this new restaurant, you know, and I would do it with like chains, but like make them sound fancy, you know? So I'd go to like Waffle House and be like, it's Waffle House, you know? And like,
Right.
I like that they put cigarette ashes in all of the, you know, waffle, you know, people love that. And I would do it. I did it for TJ Maxx. I did it for all these stores, you know? And then eventually I was just like, okay, I'm like over this. And then as soon as I started making other videos, people were like, where are the influencer video? You know? And it's just like, I've done all the stores. I can't do, and the jokes are starting to be the same, you know? So that was I hit a pretty lull there, but then, you know, you find something else that people like, and you just have to keep shooting, honestly. Like you had a video that was, I love the college group project.
Yeah, those are great.
Like that did great online. I thought that was funny. And like, you know, you just kind of find new things.
Thanks.
You know, I wish I was one of those guys that could post stand-up clips and go viral. That'd be nice. You know?
Yeah.
You don't have to worry. You just film it and
No,
know.
it's really nice because it's a thing that is sort of like fulfilling still. Like if doing stand up is like, you know, it's great, it's dynamic, like whatever. And it just feeds the whole machine really nicely. It's like, just post your videos and then you'll get a bunch of followers and you can go on the road and it's like all very
People
satisfying.
It's 1-to-1. People that like you online will like you in person. It's great. Something I'm gonna work on doing, but you know, whatever. I mean, I still love stand up. I know a bunch of people that are like started making videos and they were like, I'm kind of out on stand up, you know, and it's hard, but I love doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's great. Totally. And you've been doing stand up for the same amount of time that you've been making videos?
I've been doing stand up longer. I was doing stand up in the city since like 2017. And for like 3 or 4 years, just kind of like what I thought was like growing, you know? I'm like, well, I'm not doing as many open mics, you know?
Right.
I get booked on this show, you know, every year.
Well, yeah, it gets harder to make new milestones. As
Yeah. And then it just, honestly, thank God for like the rise of TikTok and on all these platforms, because I remember back in like 2019 thinking like, yeah, like I want to start posting online. I used to go do man on the street videos at like outside of concerts. I would go to like a Grateful Dead concert and I'd like interview people outside and make like YouTube videos, and they would get like nothing online. And I was like thinking like, it's pretty hard to grow online. You know, I wish there was like an app that made it really easy to go viral. And then the pandemic happened, and then TikTok happened. I was like, oh, all right, good. You know, like, but yeah, I mean, I just think like our industry, and honestly, most industries have changed so much and so rapidly. Like, what do you think the difference in comedy from like 2005 to 2015? Really not too different in terms of like, other than maybe the explosion of like YouTube.
So the only thing that I can think of, because I wasn't doing it in 2005, but I started in 2008.
Yeah.
And the big difference, there was definitely like between 2008 and 2018 or whatever, there was a difference in the way that people got selected.
Okay.
you still had to get selected because
Yeah.
it was like the industry, there was always that like gatekeeping, and it went, there was like a really hard like diversity push.
Yes.
And I remember that that's the thing that people were complaining about in like the 2010s was
Yeah.
just like, okay, like no matter what I do, it's not going to matter because I don't fit any of these categories, blah, blah, blah. And then sort of the online thing happening theoretically made it a little more democratic in that, you know, if you could get a following, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
But now it's a thing where like, if you can't get a following, it doesn't matter how good you are.
That's right.
So like, there's always pros and cons to every era. And like,
Yeah.
it's never going to be perfect for you. So
No.
I think that if you're thinking about getting into this kind of shit, that's something to consider.
Yeah. It's very difficult, and it changes year to year. It really does. Like, I think all of the, you know, back in those days, like you had a plan. You had to get a late night set.
Right,
Get like maybe a Comedy Central half hour. Get an album.
But it was linear, which
Yeah.
made it approachable. But there's only so much you could do.
Yeah.
Now, like, there's an endless amount of work that you
there's
can
so
do.
many different paths in and out, and like
Yeah.
it's all like, I mean, people that did reality TV are doing comedy now, and they already have the momentum, you know, so that helps them out a lot. And then, there's people that just never did stand up in their entire life, but have a big online following that are now like falling back on stand up as a way
Right,
to like
right.
sell tickets on, get more
Right,
money.
which makes sense.
Makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it's really, which I almost think is better because it's like we don't know if we're on the right path or not because the paths are so kind of all muddy and like weird and
Right.
know.
Got to be true to yourself. You'll always be playing catch up. So if you do
Yeah.
something and you do it well, like the stars will align for you at some point, in theory. But all right, before I say this, I'm going to say the following. I find that I have way less free time than I used to.
Yeah.
Even though now like my destiny feels like it's a little bit more in my hands. Like
Yeah.
before, like I said, you sort of would run out of things that you could do and you're like,
Yeah.
all right, well, I guess today I'm just going to fucking chill or whatever, or I'll go hit these shows later and now it's like, okay, I can be making videos. I can be doing this. I can be doing that, whatever. So it's hard to find free time, but what do you do in your free time? What are your like hobbies? Do you ever go on vacation? What is your like life like
Outside of comedy?
outside of obsessing about what you're going to post next?
It's weird because like I definitely felt like I used to have a lot more hobbies, but now I've become like I just love making content so much and making videos. It just excites me so much that I'm finding I have less and less hobbies. Like I used to be into film photography. I haven't done that in a few years.
You got to get back into
I
it, dude.
got to get back into that. I love going to concerts. I really love live music. It's
What
also
kind
just
of stuff?
Alternative rock, like indie rock. I just went to ACL in Austin and saw a whole bunch of different bands there. I've been kind of like enjoying seeing like pop artists live. Like I saw Dua Lipa and Chapel Roan, who were fantastic. And and also probably because I have a girlfriend who's, a pretty blonde girl. So that kind of, affects my music taste a little bit.
Like, 'cause she likes all that stuff?
Yeah, she loves pop music. She loves that stuff. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I like this, So I would love going to concerts. I used to go on a lot of hikes. I love hiking. I actually like going surfing in the summer if I get a chance. I'm not great at it. I've been doing it for like 8 years and I'm like still like at the same level where I just kind of like have a day where I'm either riding a lot of waves or I'm just eating shit and like almost drowning.
Like around here, like in Long Island?
I'll go to Long Beach on Long Island where I'm from. I'm not from Long Beach, I'm from Long Island, but I go to like Long Beach or I'll go out to Montauk, at Ditch Plains and I'll try surfing there. I do love the beach a lot though. I'm a big beach boy.
Solid.
Do you like the beach?
I do.
Do you ride a big surfboard or a
Ride
little
a
surfboard?
9-foot longboard.
Okay.
Because the little surfboards are for like if you're like cutting it up and like
That's
you're
what I was
crazy.
curious about, if you were shredding.
No, I'm not shredding. I'm like, if I catch a wave and if I ride in a straight line, I'm like, oh yeah, like.
Is it easier to do it on a longboard?
Yeah, they're just more buoyant and it's easier to catch a wave, but there's less mobility. And unfortunately, when you go surfing, it depends on the wave conditions because sometimes waves are like just ferociously crashing.
Right.
And when that happens, there's like no opportunity for you unless you have a shortboard. There's no opportunity for you. You need like a slow rolling, crashing wave.
That
Bubbly.
like crashes a little bit further out. Right?
Yeah, it has a long, length to it.
Is there any indication as to when it will be good surfing conditions?
There's a bunch of websites, but unfortunately on these websites, it's like Surfline. There's just so many metrics. They're like, well, the wave height's pretty high, but the wind's bad.
Oh, okay.
And the current's going the wrong
Right,
way.
right.
But like, this is, so I like have tried reading it, and I'll go on days that like everything looks green, which I thought meant good on the website, and I go and it's like the worst surfing conditions. And then I've gone on days where it's like, oh, it's gonna be a terrible surfing day, and I go and it's actually great. So
Was it because it changes like between when you check and when you get there?
sometimes it does, but for the most part, I still don't think I know how to read all these.
Right.
Like I have no idea.
Right.
And also like I don't know what they think
not
is
user friendly.
Yeah, like for them, like good is like maybe for the people that are shredding. I want the bitch waves.
You want the
I want
longboard.
the 2-footers that are just slow and easy. That's my bread and butter right there. But it's also nice. Like I'll go and I won't catch a wave, but I'll just be out on the board. It's just nice out there.
Do you watch surfing ever?
Not really. I'm not like into professional surfing. I mean, on my Instagram, I'll see like cool surfing videos where like two people would surf and then they like jump on each other's boards, they switch, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty dope.
I thought it was badass that France was like, oh, we have a colony in the South Pacific that we're going to use for the surfing competition. I'm like, oh, that's fucking baller.
Yeah.
They were gatekeeping that though. That was behind a paywall for me at least.
Oh,
the
yeah.
surfing
You need, like Peacock
events.
or whatever.
Yeah. Apparently it's like really dangerous there. Like, because a lot of like cool surfing spots in tropical areas are good because like the sea floor is really deep and then it gets really shallow, and that's what creates the good waves. But unfortunately, where it gets shallow is a hard coral reef.
Ooh, shit.
So if you like eat
Wipe
it
out.
on those waves, you go face first into a coral reef and you can like die.
Shoot
Crush
above.
your
Yeah,
skull.
crush your face. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I probably will never do that or even try to.
right.
But I like the vibes of a surf. Put it on my car, looking cool.
Put on your sunscreen.
Put on my sun. Yeah, I have to put on like the zinc because I'm a little whitey boy and I burn so badly.
Do you own one of those SPF shirts?
I have which by the way, like what is an SP? Like is this sweatshirt SPF?
Lynch-
It covers.
Lynch
Do you have
knows.
one or no?
I don't know that much. I just
Okay,
know,
okay.
I just
You
but
have
like,
one, don't you?
I have an SPF shirt.
I have a rash guard because I'll rip my chest up with the wax on the board, but I'm pretty. I mean, it covers me. I don't get burned underneath it. I don't know.
It's not a wetsuit?
I think SPF shirts might be a bit of a scam. I do have a wetsuit too. I love the wetsuit. It's good. Really forms the body. Fits tight.
Did you grow up wearing those whenever you went to the pool or the
I was
beach?
a bit. Okay. So I was a bit husky when I was in middle school. I wasn't tall yet. I was kind of like shrunken. Like if you took me and shrunk me now, I was compact. So I was a bit husky. I was very self-conscious about my body from like I would say like 6th to like 8th grade. So yeah, I wore the rash guard to the water park because I was like, oh, get a rash. I just didn't want people to see my boobies.
Did you?
No, I didn't really. But I was also kind of husky in middle school, but I still didn't.
Did you have older brothers?
No.
Okay, that's the thing. When you have older brothers and that are just dicks like mine, that will make you keep the shirt on.
Yeah.
Because my brother would rip on. I mean,
How many older brothers?
I have 2 older brothers, but I have this one older brother that like would just like really torment. Like he would like really beat me up, which I think is good. I think having an older brother kind of like keeps you a bit, on your guard a little bit.
Humble.
Yeah, keeps you humble, keeps you like not acting too silly because you're always in the back of your head like, oh, he's gonna call me.
Guy's gonna beat the
He's gonna
fucking
call me.
shit out
He's
of me.
gonna call me gay or something, if I do that,
Oh, dude, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question about surfing. So
Sure.
I think about the like gold medalists and like what they had to do to get that and all that shit. And I can't help but wonder, like, are the people who have all the records, is that just a product of them getting lucky that particular week they had perfect surfing conditions?
I think it has a lot to do with the surfing conditions.
Yeah.
I think that these competitions, although I do think like when they would do Olympic surfing, sometimes they do it and the waves like sucked.
Right.
So they had to like make a shitty wave look good. I honestly don't know too much about like surfing. I think it's by judges, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's judges.
It's judges. Yeah. I don't understand how they score most of these sports. Like, did you watch the Olympics this year?
I tried, yeah.
I didn't understand how, like gymnastics, I was like, I don't know, was that better? Or,
Right. It's like she just did the most perfect thing you've ever seen. They're like, all right, there's going to be a slight deduction there for the pinky being off of the beam. It's like, how do they even notice?
Did you hear that story about how they the U.S. won a bronze, and then like they awarded it to the person, and then like the committee was like, actually, we rewind the tape, and technically she didn't win, and they were like, we're gonna need it back.
Yeah,
and the U.S. was like, fuck no, you ain't getting it back.
And it was like 7 minutes after the fact. It took a long time for them to.
Well, they
call
they
it
did
back.
like a challenge.
They already
or something.
did the ceremony.
Yeah, I think they rewarded. I think it was like the next day.
Yeah,
She was on the pedestal with Simone.
you can't take it back. Just give out another medal.
Give it another one.
Get like another, I don't know, tinfoil. I don't know, make a new medal, a 4th place.
Or don't give out a medal.
Yeah,
Just
or
let her keep
don't.
it.
Yeah,
It's
who
on them.
cares? No one's keeping store. Imagine we went to war over that. That'd be crazy.
know.
We're not giving it back.
I'd love to like, and they've done an okay job at this, but like I want to see something that's specifically about the emotional like toll that like only competing every 4 years must put on people.
Yeah.
When it like doesn't work out the way that it was supposed to, or like it has to be absolutely crazy, especially when like, you know, you make even in the high profile sports, like if you're not medaling or you're not like toward the top of the thing, like are the income earning possibilities there? Like I know that they're competing all the time. So like maybe for running there is, or for certain things, but like some of these other sports, people, especially like the Winter Olympics, people have normal jobs
A lot of them do.
and they train full time also.
Honestly, unless
It's
you're
amazing.
like a high profile Olympian like Simone Biles or someone, I don't know if you're getting any deals. You know?
And like, but like, is there prize money in the like world
I
championships?
think like I saw that other countries, the way they treated their athletes, because they only had like 4, they'll like pay for like their apartment, they'll pay for their healthcare, they'll pay for they'll like do everything for them. In the US, I think they're kind of just like, yeah, good for you, buddy.
Right.
Unless you're a superstar, you ain't getting shit.
Right.
By the way, your taxes are due. All right. Like,
right. But yeah, like in countries where like nobody ever wins medals, like North Korea, there's like a weightlifter guy who like won the silver medal or something. He may have even won the gold medal.
Yeah.
And he's like the fucking biggest deal ever in the country.
He owns his own militia now.
He's the man. He like, but to your point, he gets like preferential treatment. Like
Yeah. You're a
he
hero.
gets all this shit. He's the man. Like
To be
so much pressure.
to be the one athlete from a country that never places and like actually doing well. Great life.
Great life.
You're a celebrity. You're walking around the village. People are giving
Hey,
you
this guy was in
free.
the Olympics.
Yeah, they're giving you free meats and stuff. I don't know what they do in Europe, but yeah, that's got to be great.
Well, some countries incentivize monetarily. Like, so I'm looking up here. Hong Kong, they award $768,000.
We do
for
that too,
gold,
don't we?
$384,000 for silver, $192K for bronze.
Probably
That's
like
according to
$30,000.
CNBC.
That's good.
Singapore and Indonesia, $745,000 for gold.
What about America?
I feel like America.
It's like
I think we do it too.
you
It's
get
like a
TSA
McDonald's
pre-check.
gift card.
Yeah.
TSA pre-check.
Yeah, it's like,
and a
guess what? You just got
McDonald's
TSA
gift
pre-check. I already had it.
And a Big Mac.
All right.
card. And a Big Mac.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Dude.
Not a lot. There's some country they give you a house. That was right.
Yeah.
37.5K.
In U.S. for
US
gold?
for gold.
How much?
37.5K.
That's
Too many gold medalists.
awful.
Silver gets 22.5, and you get 15,000 for bronze.
Jesus.
And
So
they're
they
like,
strip $15,000 away.
Might as
from
well
that
start making
person.
TikToks.
and you know they're taxing the shit out of that too.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. That's sad that like someone making TikToks is going to make more money than an Olympian, but hey,
Hey, what are you gonna do?
this is what our society
life.
values.
You ever watch that show, The 100-Foot Wave?
I did.
It was pretty cool.
The guy rode one that was an insane monster. I mean, this wave looked like a tsunami,
Crazy.
apocalyptic wave. And he's like, we did it. We rode 100 foot wave. And then he was like, technically, it was only 98 feet.
Yeah.
And this
Someone
guy-
has rode one since
Yeah.
100 foot
But the guy in the episode, he was like, his wife was like, oh, like thank God he made it. Like, cause you're gonna die
Yeah.
if you fall, right? So he wrote it, and then he was like, I gotta go do it again.
Yeah.
And I would be like, are you insane?
Well, there's enough, like, they're not able to measure it accurately
They
enough.
can't measure
so
it at
he
all.
could say it's 100 still.
Lie.
Well, can you see what the highest one ever ridden is? I think
I don't know.
someone
How
recently
do you
broke the
measure? By the
record.
way, I think waves are measured from the back, by the way.
Interesting.
Because in the front, the water dips down. So they got to measure it from the back because that's where it doesn't dip down.
It's like
Could be wrong, by the way.
measuring your dick.
Yeah, like you got to measure from the back. You got to measure underneath.
Yeah.
That couple extra inches, you know?
From underneath.
But yeah, the 100 foot wave, that was crazy. It's in Portugal.
Yeah. Now
That's the one.
That's right. But how big?
93.73 feet.
That's the big. So no one's done the.
No one's
100 yet.
done it.
Definitely not enough for him to feel good about that.
No,
if it was 98, 99.
Have you seen the waves?
I haven't
Dude,
seen
they're
it.
crazy. They're like scary.
They're really. I've seen videos of people having to be rescued in the white. First of all, the white foam, is very terrifying if you get stuck in it, because if you like crash, you're in the white foam. There's waves come in sets, typically like 3, 4, maybe 5. They just keep coming. You just keep getting hit.
Barreling.
Is that where it lands?
So like a wave crashes and there's all this big white foam area. So let's say you're riding the wave and you fall. You'll be first of all, you get tumbled upside down like crazy. Finally, you get to the surface after like being in the washing machine. You're up. By the time you get up there, another wave's like about to fall on you again. So you have to hold your breath again, go under, and it just never ends. So you basically
You have to
will
be like
drown.
Harry Houdini.
So they have to have these guys on jet skis that go in there, and you have to jump on the back of them, and they pull you out. But sometimes those guys get hit by waves too.
Yes.
And then it's just a never-ending situation. Very terrifying.
And they also tow you out to ride the waves to begin
That's right.
with,
They tow you out.
which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing that. I mean, not that I even could, but sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna stick to TikToks.
When's the last time you went on vacation?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I mean, I go on like trips that I anytime I go anywhere, I want to do comedy or do something.
I try to like tack on. I do that too.
Yeah, like I'll go. Like we went to Austin to go see the eclipse
earlier
in the year, which is technically a vacation, but still, while I was there, I was still like, I don't know. Like, do you
Making
ever
eclipse content?
I never made I couldn't think of a funny video, but we were trying to make some videos. But do you can you ever go somewhere and not think about comedy? Or you're
so this is the thing. I try to, and I usually.
But you also have travel, like you travel and do these great videos, and you go to amazing places, Afghanistan, all these that's kind of tied in with you. Do you ever?
That's a work trip.
It's a work trip, though.
So that is like all business, but like I enjoy it for sure also. But and we do it in a way that makes it as enjoyable as possible, because I think it shows on screen. Like most travel stuff like that is very very planned, and like it look good, and like our shit looks great, and like we are pretty good about keeping it on the fly.
Yeah.
I will go on like proper vacations though, but I'm trying to think like the last time I went on like an actual pure vacation that didn't somehow combine some kind of work or like an obligation. It was like a wedding. It was like, oh great, we're going to a wedding. We're going to make that into a vacation. I guess that counts. Yeah. But like a pure vacation, I have not been on one in a while, but I'm intending to go on a couple soon.
Good. That's
and
good.
I'm struggling with feeling like I've earned it.
Yeah.
I don't think that I will feel that way, but I will say this. Once I'm on a trip like that, after a couple days, the FOMO does go away.
I think for me, if I were to go on, like my girlfriend wants us to go on vacation, but I think it would have to be either short, or I would need to be doing something that makes me feel like I'm like still in quote unquote in the game. It's hard for me right now to unplug, because I just feel like I'm in the middle of like the marathon of my life,
Yeah.
So it's just hard for me to like be like, I can't like give up a week, because I need to be online.
Right.
Or doing shows or something. They'll forget about me if I don't, and it's all irrational.
Right.
The world will be fine. You'll come back, you'll make a video.
Nothing will be different. Yeah.
Nothing will be different, It's just tough, because like I'm self-employed. I do this full time now. I quit my job in March.
But your job was a content job.
I worked for a marketing company, and that was absolute hell.
Yeah, I know
absolute
you hated
hell.
it. But in a way, like it's funny, because before you got that job, you probably would have thought that was going to be a great thing.
When I got that job, I was like, yes,
I'm
my
full-time.
love.
I'm a full-time
I was
comic.
like, my love of content meets career. Oh, great. But then I realized that like, I don't want to be making videos for other businesses or this marketing company for the salary I have, because around the same time I started getting like brand deals where I would make one video and it would be like a lot of money. And then I would go to work and I made like 8 videos, and I'm like, that's I made those videos for a fraction of what I could have got if I made it on my own.
Dangerous thinking though.
So I just was, and also unfortunately, I was like the most knowledgeable person there, and I was such a dick at my old job Nobody knew anything, but I had to be. Nobody knew anything. All right. I'm like, they're telling me what to do. And I'm like, let me tell you, have you gone viral? I don't think so. I have, So I would, I'd be so pompous in these meetings.
Contentzilla.
Yeah. I was like an animal. They probably were happy when I left, but like, I felt like I was like chained to like a business and I was like held hostage.
Videos.
Yeah. They were like, pump them out, funny boy. So, and that's what I did. Like brands would come to us and they'd be like, we like Chris. He makes funny videos. We like that video you made for your personal account. Can you make it for us? And I'm like, I guess,
Right.
It was brutal. And working for yourself is the best thing that you can do. Unfortunately, I say that because it comes with a lot of other issues,
Right.
like health insurance.
Yeah. It's not always as enjoyable because just like the stress of it all can certainly like weigh you down and prevent you from like using your brain for the right stuff, but rewarding when it's rewarding.
That's right. Yeah.
When's the last time you left America?
Probably last summer. I went to Canada, drove to Montreal.
Oh, nice.
Which was honestly so crazy. Like I love upstate New York. I go all the time for hiking, but driving through upstate New York to the border and then going into Canada felt like I was, especially the Quebec, I think is the area. Or the state or province, I don't know what they call it. Yeah. It feels like you're in Europe.
Totally.
Like everything, the signs look different.
They're very stubborn about it over there.
Yeah, the bridges look European. Everything is like
signs in French.
It's such a culture shock. I didn't expect everyone to be speaking French. But
First time you ever been to Canada?
No, I went to Toronto, but that's like barely Canada.
Right.
That's like a very Americanized version of Canada. But yeah, that was Montreal felt like a European city and I liked it, you go there and you're like, hey, and they're like, and you're like, oh, okay.
Wow. Say it again.
You're like, okay, damn, I'll have a bacon, egg and cheese. But yeah, I've been to Ireland. I haven't gone really anywhere other than like Ireland, Mexico, Canada. Those are really the only places that outside the country I've been. You've traveled everywhere.
I've traveled a good amount, but obviously it's like part of my whole thing.
I want to go to Sweden.
Oh, nice. You should.
I want to go somewhere where the people look like me.
Yeah.
I want to go and be the king of them.
Where you're a dime a dozen. I don't know if you're going to like it, dude.
Norway. Have you ever been to?
None of those places.
No? I want to go. Have you been to like Northern European countries?
I've been giving Lynch a hard time historically on the pod. I've lightened up a bit on it, but I was telling Lynch that he needed to broaden his horizons.
Travel.
He was doing some solo work.
We had a big bulk.
You did really good work, Lynch.
Thank you.
Wait, where have you gone?
Well, up until last November, I've been to the Bahamas,
okay,
and Aruba.
Yeah,
and so
Which
I've been to
the same place.
It's all Disney World.
Yeah,
and so I went to London, I went to Amsterdam, and I went to Paris. And I just went to Costa Rica back in March.
And you went to Belgium.
And I trained through Belgium.
Yes.
So, I mean,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to go to Europe.
You got to do it, bro.
I grew up as like a San Diego every year and Disney World every other year kid.
Yeah.
So that kind of
solid.
It paints the picture.
Yeah.
I understand. But
I do
broad
wanna,
strokes.
I do want to explore America, though.
Yeah, you should.
I do want to explore Disney.
Okay, so how much of America have you been to?
Let's see. I've been to California. I've been to Colorado, the South, Georgia,
Texas.
That's right.
Florida.
Yeah, I've been to Florida. Is like whatever.
I'm
most of the Northeast. I would say I've been. Massachusetts.
DC?
Yeah, I've been to DC. I like DC a lot. I did some shows this summer there. Ohio, which is whatever. Chicago. I love Chicago. Chicago was my second favorite city. So great. I wouldn't move there, but if I had to, I might.
There's a world where I could be happy living in Chicago.
Oh, it's so great. Everything's just better. Everyone tells me you're like, it's an awful place that you'll get shot and that, whatever. But it's not.
That's everywhere.
I mean, you're going to get shot everywhere.
You're going to get shot no matter where you go.
Yeah, you're going to get shot. If you're going to get shot, you're going to get shot.
You're going to get shot. You will be shot.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just, roll the dice. Am I going to get shot today? Citizen app. We'll let you know.
Pacific Northwest.
I do want to go. I want to go to I want to go to Utah. Another place I think I'd fit in.
You like the hiking and stuff too.
I like the hiking, but I just want to, I'm obsessed with Mormons.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to like,
You'll see them.
You want to soak?
I want to soak.
Yeah.
I want to just know I just want to talk to them. They seem so interesting to me. So I feel like once again, I'd fit in. I want to see the Redwood Forest. You know, even Montana. There's so many beautiful parts of this country. It's such a great, like, diverse area of like different, you know, there's the desert and the beautiful area, you know. I want to go see that, but also, you know, I want to go to Europe. I don't know if I'd like Paris though. Did you like Paris?
I liked it, but they were very unwelcoming.
Yeah, I don't know if I need that.
I was like, bonjour. They're like, what the fuck do you
Go
want?
fuck yourself.
Yeah.
They said
What do you want?
They said it in perfect English. You're like, bonjour. They're like, go fuck yourself. And you're like,
Yeah. And they're speaking
know?
in perfect French
Pretty
to the
much.
patron right before you.
yeah.
And they just see me wearing, like, I don't know, some American brand.
Yankee hat.
What do you want?
What do you
Yeah.
want?
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
That's a little bit. It's not like. It's great. Like, Paris is an amazing city, but yeah, like what they say about the French is definitely true. But
true.
like, I don't know if they like mean it the way that we all interpret it. So I try
Yeah.
to like think that anytime I've been there.
Is it like a
it's-
New Yorker thing where people come to New York and they're like, people are mean? It's like, no, they're just
Maybe.
they're just kind of to the point,
Maybe.
you know?
I'm not totally sure if a French person would say that that's the case.
You should
Okay.
still definitely
But-
go.
Okay.
But yeah,
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
We were there for 5 days, and I feel like we maybe scratched like a quarter
Yeah.
of some of the stuff there.
Yeah, it's good.
Amsterdam, though, blew my mind.
Amsterdam's
I
really cool.
loved it. It was
Okay.
beautiful.
comedy there,
It
too.
smelled really
Comedy
nice.
scene.
I heard that. I heard that. Have you done comedy in Germany before?
I have
Or
not.
Berlin?
I have not. But I think there's.
I've
there
heard some
too.
things about Berlin being cool.
Yeah, I've done some comedy in other places, in other countries.
Is it hard to do comedy in other
No,
countries? Do you
but-
find that like your references or like whatever are just not gonna hit?
No.
Okay.
I don't find that for myself, but I'm depending on what you talk about, I guess.
That's right. Yeah.
But I don't like feel that fulfilled by doing it. Like, if I'm somewhere, I'm like, oh, I'm glad to be here, and then they're like, you can hop on this show too. I'm like, I don't care necessarily.
That kind of changes as I feel like you've been doing comedy longer. It's like the whole like hopping on a show thing. It just isn't as cool.
Yeah, it's not as
You know?
exciting, and there's little to gain from it other than saying
Yeah.
you did it. But if it was like easy, then I'd probably still do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done comedy in the UK, Sweden, Norway, in Barcelona,
Nice.
in Africa one time.
We're in Africa.
Rwanda.
Yeah, that's a place.
It was kind of cool.
I know where it is.
But yeah, dude. So I don't know. It kind of all depends. I'd love to be like getting paid.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I made some money when I did in Barcelona, but I don't think I got paid in the other places. And in Norway, it was
Yeah.
actually like shitty that they didn't pay me. Like, I like hit the guy up after. I was like, am I like not gonna get paid for this? And he like never responded. It was like packed shows. I was like, damn, savage.
Wow.
I'm trying
Part
to
of that culture. They don't tip over there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
right. I'm trying to line up something in Copenhagen, but the guy's like being kind of unresponsive
Weird,
now.
yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, like I know some people get really into that. They're like, yeah, like I'm planning shows here and
Yeah.
there, and I'm just kind of like, all right, whatever. But yeah, and yeah, dude, I think you'd really dig the like Mountain West if you've never been.
Yeah.
It's like pretty shockingly amazing.
I'm sure it's beautiful. I would love to see it.
So in Alaska, and this is advice to anybody, and maybe someone from Alaska would say this is overkill, but people in Alaska agreed with this when I was there, and I had heard it before.
Okay.
You're not supposed to like try to chum it up with people because they'll fight you. People are like
Really?
wasted and like loud and
So-
obnoxious, and if you like somehow start interacting with them, like it could turn into you getting into a fight.
Like how do you do comedy in these places? If like the audience is just a bunch of like perpetually drunk or
So I think though, but like it never, and maybe the crowds are unruly there, but I
Yeah.
think by function you weed out a lot of the riffraff just because people bought tickets to the show.
yeah, they wouldn't be that organized to buy them if they were that type of person.
Yeah, maybe like the person who's like automatically fighting you at the bar is
Really?
not the person.
Are there a lot of unsolved murders in Alaska?
I think there's a lot of rape and a lot of like
Not
weird,
fun.
Yeah, and like the native population
Maybe I
is really
don't go to
hammered.
Alaska.
You
You
just
know,
gotta- you gotta
Maybe-
just be-
maybe if I had a map, but maybe I might cross that one off. You know,
Got to be
avoid that
aware of
area.
your surroundings.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the Alaskan listening to the podcast, being like, "That's not how it is.
No,
that's not
come
how
to
it
Anchorage."
is. The rape's not that bad."
Yeah.
No, I've been in Anchorage and I liked it, but there's definitely like a little bit of a prickly sort of like street walking, hammered native indigenous population that is like very drunk and very aggressive. So you just kind of mind your distance
Okay.
from them.
Sometimes I feel like my I mean, you guys are kind of tall guys, but do you guys feel like your height kind of protects you in certain situations?
Maybe I maybe feel like a little less stressed out as like somebody smaller or like a woman.
Last night I was coming home from a show and there was some crazy guy yelling, and I was just like, I like just kind of got a little bit taller, made myself taller, and he like stopped being crazy as he walked past me, and then he continued being crazy, muttering to himself, and the guy was like, ah, and then he saw me and he was like, all right,
Okay, I'm gonna tone
guy's
down for a
dad's
second.
definitely a lawyer, like walks past me, but I feel I like that's my superpower, just being like, yeah, try, buddy.
Right.
I have reach. Okay.
Well, the nice thing about being a guy too is you're less
That's
likely
true. Also
to
being a guy.
but you're less likely to be subjected to some sort of like sexually charged
That's true.
crime as
Yeah.
if you're a woman. You know what I mean? I think that it's less about being able to fight it off as it is the people's desire to do it.
Nobody's
trying
coming
to
after
bang
me. Yeah, that's right.
It's good to have the posture thing. When you guys are walking with your ladies
Yeah.
and you see some behavior coming your way, do you kind of like
I move.
I dribble her like a basketball.
Yep. I know. I do the same thing.
And I like move her behind my back,
I'll
and then
do-
if the guy's like zigzagging, he comes the other way, I just grab her
I
again.
put her
feel-
behind me.
Yeah.
Curry behind the back.
No, I do the same.
And in the moment, I feel bad about it because I'm just moving her like she's
Same
not a
though.
person. But then after the fact, when she's not punched or spat on,
Yeah.
I
No.
think we come to an
I'll
agreement that it was the
manhandle
right.
her.
I think my
Yeah.
girlfriend likes that. I think that's like a good like move that even if like they're like I can handle myself, still just nice of you to like be like, hey, I'm gonna put myself in between us just in case anything happens. You know, I do that a lot. I do that with we even do that when we're like on the road, like if we're walking on the sidewalk and there's cars coming. I'll be the guy that gets first.
Right,
You
right.
know,
by half a millisecond.
I'll try to prevent
by
her.
half a
Half a
millisecond.
millisecond.
If a truck loses control and comes onto the sidewalk, I'll die before her, and that's disrespectful.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the right thing to do. You want to give her a heads up for
exactly.
a millisecond,
She'll
so
maybe
she has
not
a chance.
Maybe not a good thing because then she'll see me die. That might be traumatizing for half a millisecond, and then she'll whatever.
Right.
But
It's a lose-lose.
it's a lose-lose either way. But it's just a nice gesture, you know. Being the bodyguard a little bit is nice. But yeah.
You ever accidentally throw them into the bad person?
I
Trying to do too much?
Yeah, sometimes we have two bad people coming.
Pick her up, throw him in his
Choose your
arms.
adventure.
I had something happen to me at when we went to Austin City Limits where I get this thing. Do you guys get this where like I'm sensitive to sunlight, so anytime I like take my sunglasses off, I'll have to sneeze. Have you heard of this? or
Never
no?
heard of this in my
Okay,
life.
I have that issue. Some people have it. I don't know. Anyway, we were at ACL, very bright, very dusty. I took my sunglasses off. I had to sneeze, but I was with Caroline, and I had to sneeze, so I was like, oh, I was gonna sneeze away from her. As I go to turn, a man was walking. I sneezed in another man's face.
Oh,
Like as he was passing, like I was like, and then I hit him right in the face.
What'd you do?
What
did he do?
I was like, oh, and then Caroline just goes, did you just sneeze in the guy's face? And I was like, I didn't, you know, I don't know what happened.
Put your
with that.
sunglasses back on.
I kept walking.
Did he stop?
I think he got hit. I think he went and he just. I never looked back. I just kept walking as if there's a lot of people there. Maybe he didn't realize it was me. I don't know. But she was like, "You sneezed in that man's face, like
Oh my
in
God.
that man's face."
Jesus.
I was like, I was trying not to sneeze on you,
dog.
And you just kept going,
I just kept
and
going.
nothing happened.
You've been to music festivals. The crowds are just like
Yeah.
oceans.
Oh God! Thank God.
You know, you just vanish.
Concentrated enough.
I felt bad if that guy's listening. I'm sorry.
Are you guys big spitters?
Spitters?
I'll spit a bit.
No, I'm a snot
Bulldog
rocket guy
hates it.
though.
Okay.
Ugh.
I don't
do
trust.
that?
I don't trust
I do
the.
this. I do the.
No, I got vines just like dangling off.
Oh
whenever I
yeah,
do
no, you
it.
don't have it like.
I don't have the fortitude.
No.
But spitting, I spit all the time.
Why do you spit?
It's I'm just like orally fixated.
Okay.
So if I don't have, I need gum. I need something to chew on. But there have been some close calls where I've just been like walking,
and
just like. Just like almost like a short lady's eye. I've like almost spat on someone. Someone's like been in the direct line and they just coincidentally like didn't get spat on. But there's been some close calls spitting on people.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys got to be careful out there. No sneezing on people. No spitting on people if you can avoid it. We'll try our best. This is Chris Barnes. Dude, where can we find you?
You can
What's
find
going
me on Instagram at Christopher Barnes or on TikTok at Chris Barnes Comedy or I guess YouTube, you know?
Cool.
I don't know what my handle is on that if you even need one. But yeah, follow me online. I post stand-up shows, so come see me live if you want to.
Cool.
And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Dude, great to have you. Come check me out here after the Crocodile Seattle, October 26th, 2 shows. Also, New York Comedy Club, Stamford, Connecticut, December 13th, 1 show. It's going to be a hot one. Lynch is going to be there. It's going to be fun.
Oh, can I plug one thing?
Please.
Okay, I'm doing a show for New York Comedy Festival on November 8th with another comedian named Nate Meeker at The Gutter in Williamsburg. So
Sick.
if you're in New York, come check us out. It's going to be great.
Pull up to that at Not Julio, Not Julio G, TikTok and Snapchat, at Oops Podcast. Email us, oopspodcast@gmail.com. Lynch.
Ryan is really polite for all details of a show on October 25th in Manhattan. Also on November 8th, 2 shows that Friday night. And then I'll be with Giulio on the 13th in December.
Fuck
so
yeah.
Stanford's really great.
Come
Love to
check
see you
us
there.
out. Thank you guys. Later.